Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This place is all about bikes.
For sure. How is it owned?
Well, it's not owned. It's a 501c3.
I see. Okay. Okay. So there's a board.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
So,
okay.
So we have a board.
Yeah.
So I'm the board chairman.
Okay. How many members of the board are there?
There are 6, I think.
Okay.
And Rick's also one of the members of the board.
How does the board get selected?
Well, it's just a vote with the board members. We're supposed to have a third of them are supposed to be volunteers in the shop, and they're the ones who are supposed to be familiar with how the shop is run and everything like that. And then we have community members who are not necessarily going to know like decisions to make in the shop, but they're going to be able to assist with things like accounting or treasury kind of roles.
Right. Right.
Or I can grab that one. Or business development, things like that.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
And
Gotcha.
so we just approved our first ever strategic plan with performance measurements of what we want to achieve. And that took forever because there's just so much collaboration and
Right.
disagreement, but we came to a compromise with everybody on the board. And there's also a separate one for the volunteers because they want to decide like what their priorities are.
Sure.
And the boards, because the volunteers are more mission objectives, like how many bikes do you want to donate for kids' bike drives.
Sure.
And we have a homeless scholarship program.
Ah.
How many bikes do we want to give away to the homeless?
Yeah.
And how many outreach events do we want to do? And then there's supporting objectives to that too.
Gotcha.
But the boards are more, it's more focused on managing staff, managing liability, so we're really limiting as much as possible. And how are we going to reinvest and stuff like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So that's what we're in the middle of doing right now.
Gotcha. All right.
So that's been super fun.
I'm sure. Yeah.
We're servicing a whole lot more people than just yuppies.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people who, whether they're immigrants or they're, working day labor types of jobs, they really wouldn't have an opportunity to get into biking in other places.
Yeah. It's a very different model than your regular sort of for-profit business in the sense that you're doing something that's not in your economic interest in the sense of teaching people how to how to fix their own bikes.
Oh yeah.
Because you'd make more money if they didn't know.
Yeah, and we definitely make a lot more money if we didn't offer a DIY. Because what they can do in an hour with verbal assistance and our parts and tools, it probably costs them about $100, and they want to get their bike back a week later.
Yeah.
But now I think we are actually organizing. We have a real strategic plan. And
right on.
all of this stuff.
Cool. What's your name, by the way?
I'm Kyle.
Kyle, all right.
Nice to meet you. I'm one of the volunteer coordinators.
Okay, all right, all right.
I've been here for 2.5 years now.
Okay.
And I've been a volunteer coordinator for getting close to 1.5 years.
What does a volunteer coordinator mean?
So the way our co-op is structured is we like to think of it as like an inverse pyramid of how things are set up, where the volunteers are the top, and they're the voice behind everything.
Right.
And then I'm the next step down, and I kind of distill everything the volunteers want and bring it to our board, which is at the bottom.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I go to board meetings, and I'm in charge of making sure things get done you know, if volunteers, making sure volunteers are informed on what needs to happen so things get done.
Right on. So you're in some ways the connecting thread between the sort of base, which is, like you said, kind of ironically on the top of that pyramid, but and the board,
Right.
in the sense that so the board so you're ensuring that the board puts into practice what the what the volunteers want.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Right on.
Yeah, I'm there.
Representative for
I'm
lack
there
of.
pestering people. Yeah, so that's kind of what I do. You know, it's a lot of organizing events and motivating people to come out to those events.
Sure. Right on. Okay.
You know, like right now, we actually just started talking tonight, me and Paul, our other volunteer coordinator, started talking tonight about doing a kids bike giveaway with all of these here and
Sure.
in this loft here.
Yeah.
So there's about 70 bikes up there that we want to give
Oh
away.
shit.
So we're trying to get a kids bike giveaway together,
Yeah.
hopefully in the next month, so we can clear out a little room in here.
And you're talking like giveaway, straight up, just
Straight
sort
up,
of.
we fix them up, give them away.
That's cool. Right on. I'm sure there's lots of kids who need it. So.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we do that almost exclusively kids bikes. We do that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Just, you know, why sell
Why
a
sell
bike?
it? Sure, I get you. Yeah. Right on.
So we do that. We also do scholarship programs with adults. So like this bike right here is for a guy from a homeless shelter who's going to come in and we're going to teach him how to fix it, and then he gets to take the bike when he's done.
That's super cool because
So,
that. Yeah.
There we just giving him a bike. He has to, you know, he learns how
Right,
to do it
yeah.
first so he can maintain it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And those people are welcome to come back anytime they want and fix their bike for free.
I'm curious about like the decision making in the sense of like, is it informal in the sense that like somebody has an idea and just sort of shoots the shit in the shop, or is there a bit of a sort of like, hey, today or like next Thursday we're gonna get together and take a vote?
So we have our meetings, which have varied from really only when we need them. We used to do, I think back when Bailey was volunteer coordinator, it was bi-weekly, so twice a month.
Okay.
And then when I started, it was monthly. And then it just got to the point where not really a whole lot was happening, especially once we moved into this space, because all of our attention was devoted to fixing this space up, because this was just a bare warehouse when we got it.
I see. Okay.
It was a warehouse with that
The loft. Yeah.
You know, we did a lot of work. That was right around the time that I started volunteer coordinating, so like a year and a half to 2 years ago.
Okay.
And we came in and we spent pretty much the entire year just pouring our time and money and effort into this space to get it up and going. And once we did that, we could start focusing on other things. So now kids bike giveaways and scholarship programs and stuff like that. Because before we were barely keeping up with the demand for bikes that we were selling at the shop. I think it helps that most of our members are community members. You know, we aren't employees that drive in from far away to come work here. We all live here. Like I live 4 blocks that way down the street. I want to say Haley might live the farthest away, and he's only like 10 minutes on a bike. Yeah, I mean, we're all community members. We live here. We want to see people on bikes. We want to see, you know, biking infrastructure grow. We pour our time and our energy into that, and we really want people to benefit from what we're offering.
And you think the co-op model provides the best sort of way to do that, or like, you know, I mean,
Definitely.
Yeah.
I definitely think so. I think that if we were a full service bike shop, we wouldn't get the clientele that we get. We'd get a lot of people that are coming in from far away and spending, you know, a ton of money on their racing bikes, stuff like that. Whereas, you know, we don't sell bikes that are more than like $200 usually, and that's even on the high end.
right? Okay.
We give away bikes. If you come to us and you are, you know, hard up on money, we're gonna help you out as much as we possibly can.
And that's that community, like that's that community idea, right? The idea being, you guys are part of the community. You have your own. There's a certain sense that you're more integrated in the community because you're not in it just for money.
Right.
Yeah. Ultimately, in terms of control, does the board ultimately have control over the money, or do the volunteers in some ways have control? In the sense that could the volunteers override the board?
I guess we'd have to talk about a scenario. We could probably find a scenario. I would say we talk about all the basic things we need, and now one of the volunteers has like credit card information from the board, so they can just go ahead and pay for it.
I see.
Like, you know, and up to the thing like, you know, $200. I think it's a spending limit right now. Anything above $200, I think we get approved.
Yeah.
But I don't think we ever said no to anything.
Yeah, I think it's more just so that not everyone has access to the sensitive information of our bank account.
Sure. Right.
Because otherwise, then anyone would buy whatever. You could buy beer with co-op money.
Yeah. Right.
I'm gonna go to the bar and spend co-op money on beer for everybody. In the
I
bar.
get you. Right. Okay. So there's control in the sense that it's not just willy-nilly like you're
Right.
saying, but it isn't as if
It's
the
not like
board
the
stands above the volunteers.
Not at all. It's we've never had the board say no when we asked for money. For
Okay.
something. I think as long as it's a good enough reason, there's no way the board should have to say no to us.
And is the decisions by the volunteers consensus? Is it majority vote? Is it how to like?
It's general consensus
Okay.
usually.
Okay.
I mean, we've had a couple things in the past where volunteers have kind of gotten into it over. I think it was like T-shirts or something like that.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
we were really having like an argument over like what T-shirts to buy.
Okay.
But we've never really had like big divides in what the volunteers want.
Yeah, I can really only remember like 2 occasions where we had to vote because we just couldn't reach a consensus on something.
Wow.
Because I do think consensus is super important for building chemistry.
Yeah.
That I just think we need to do it so everyone's happy and feels like this is part of their ownership.
Yeah.
So I think we've done a really good job of that. This is Steve Waltz. He's our treasurer.
Steve, Kevin, nice to meet you. It sounds like because of the sort of consensus model or the sort of way that the volunteers are organized in relationship to the board, there isn't a whole lot of
There's not a lot of friction.
yeah.
I don't know, they probably didn't go back to the history. It was started with an investment made that the guy wrote it off over a number of years. So it was essentially one person agreeing to work for next to nothing and another person making a cash investment in it. And so after a number of years, that has evolved.
Okay.
And as we built up more bike sales and just people coming in and paying for parts and just the service, keep the doors open and have one full-time employed person and one part-time employed person through that type and pay the rent and the lights through that type of revenue. So it's really kind of worked as a organic organization, really, as it's grown like that. And, so the board, though, as we are an official not-for-profit, 501c3, the board does have ultimate responsibilities as a board
liability and things like that. Yeah. Okay.
So ultimately, the board is going to be the one that will have to make any kind of decision.
Yeah. Sure.
So it's not really so much that the board decides how much is going to get paid, but we look at what our revenue is,
What the availability is.
what we can do,
Okay.
what he needs to be fair to him and to live with.
Yeah.
And try and make sure that we can be and treat him well and treat him kindly.
In terms of for you guys in general, we're here for you guys in the sense of like, if you need anything in terms of help with anything like that, contact us and we'll kick our members into gear.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to get on there. I think that'd be the best thing. Just stay in contact.
Yeah.
Because we definitely have a lot of things in the works right now. We definitely really want to grow.
Yeah.
And networking, I think, is one of our most important things right now to kind of achieve our success.
For sure. Yeah.
So I think
Think of it from
with
outside to
Democracy at Work.
inside.
I got that.
It's the same
Democracy at work.
Eye on the rear is
Yeah.
Democracy at Work
Yeah.
is like, one of the important things.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that's exactly where we are too, in the sense that it's all about being mutually beneficial. In the sense of like, you can help us, we can help you. Why the hell not? So, and I mean, for me too, just even personally, I like